Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in today's show, Haiti Tzu Chi volunteers are rebuilding Sisters of St. Anne's School, which was destroyed by the 2010 earthquake. The team from the Philippines are visiting San Juan City Jail in Metro Manila to provide inmates with dental health care. And China's Tzu Chi volunteers continue to distribute scholarships to students, enabling them to continue their studies. Starting the show in Haiti, Tzu Chi's reconstruction of Sisters St. Anne's School is now in full swing. So far, the main structure for College Mary Ann is complete, and the construction for the exterior walls and building interior is underway. It is expected that the elementary school students will be able to move into their dormitory building early next year. In Port-au-Prince, the large steel structure can be seen from all corners, and residents, when passed by, they pay special attention to this magnificent view.
Looking up, one can see a striking orange steel structure from all angles in Port-au-Prince. Because of the labor strike by workers on the Panama Canal this July, Tzu Chi's reconstruction work of the Sisters of St. Anne's schools was set back by 1.5 months. But within a 5-month period, College Mary Ann's main structure was complete.
We have moved fast. Since October, we have been trying to catch up. We accomplished a lot and we are in our best phase now.
In various phases of construction, there will be a peak phase, and right now we have reached that peak because everything is underway.
As the construction work is now in full swing, the construction company OECC also hired twice as many workers, and almost 200 Haitian workers are working on the site every day.
I'm a woodworker. We start work at 7 o'clock in the morning and work until 7 o'clock in the evening, sometimes 8 o'clock to complete our work. I never feel tired. As long as God gives me strength, I can carry on. I enjoy working on this project, and to think the school will be complete soon, I feel really pleased.
OECC also invited 2 technicians from the US to demonstrate how to apply multiple coats of stucco on the exterior walls, as this method is more durable and can maintain a building's appearance for a longer period of time. This majestic and eye-catching structure sits on the mountainside here in Port-au-Prince and will be a great landmark here in Haiti.
I'm very proud. This is the first time I have undertaken such a large-scale construction. One can say that this is the first and the largest steel frame structure to have been built since the Haiti earthquake. When complete, this school will surely be a magnificent building.
Also in Haiti, Tzu Chi volunteers held a groundbreaking ceremony for the rebuilding of the kindergarten Centre Prescolaire Carmen René de Roche. Over the past 3 years, lessons have been held in temporary classrooms, so everyone is looking forward to the completion of the new school building.
Taking photos to recall the rebuilding of Centre Prescolaire Carmen René de Roche kindergarten in Port-au-Prince is volunteer Mark's daily routine.
Every morning I come here to take photos to record the progress. Although progress has been slow, I still carry out this task.
The recent heavy rainfall has made the construction site muddy, hindering progress. The workers are still working on the foundations.
I'm very happy to help build a school. Only through education can our kids develop professional skills. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Since the earthquake, the children at the kindergarten have attended classes in a temporary classroom borrowed from the community church for almost 3 years.
The church is used on Saturdays and Sundays, so we have to pack up our stuff and leave on Friday, and then return to the church on Monday. I hope the new school building will be completed as soon as possible.
Despite the heavy rain, with everyone's hard work, the new school building will eventually be completed.
At Tzu Chi, I find my own opportunity, my own ideal. Compared to what Tzu Chi has done, what I do is trivial. We can do things better by combining everyone's effort.
In the United States, many NYPD officers were also affected by Hurricane Sandy. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers handed out cash cards to 127 police officers. Here's more.
Here at El Caribe Country Club in Brooklyn, New York, Tzu Chi volunteers from the New York chapter hand out cash cards to 127 current and former police officers. When Hurricane Sandy struck the U.S., all of them worked day and night.
I just didn't go home. I didn't go home for like the first 2 days.
In the New York City Police Department, we have about 1,500 officers that have suffered some type of loss. We had one officer lose his life rescuing his family in Staten Island.
These rail-trained police officers are ready to conduct rescue missions whenever disaster strikes. This time around, however, it is they who have become recipients of love and care from Tzu Chi.
Normally we're out there doing the saving and the helping and digging out people, and for somebody to come and give us a little something, that's great.
It's sort of a circle of caring, you know, that we work to care for our communities, and then there are others that care for us.
Over the past month, Tzu Chi volunteers are busy surveying and distributing at disaster areas where many police officers learn about the Buddhist NGO. Police officer Elvis Washington is one example who had been on duty at Tzu Chi's distribution venue.
When you guys were on Staten Island helping the people out there, I heard about you guys then. The area that you guys covered is where I work at, so we helped you guys control the crowds and everything else.
And so many people now acknowledge that what a great organization that you have. The little part means a lot to us, and that's what we try to get. It's not the money, it's the effort and the time that you're taking out of your day to come here and spend it with us. That's what makes it most important.
After the small but warm gathering, the police officers are ready to get back to work and serve the public.
In the Philippines, Tima Dental Team visited the San Juan City Jail in Metro Manila to provide inmates with dentures. Touched by the care and concern of Tzu Chi volunteers, inmates expressed their heartfelt gratitude. In Metro Manila's San Juan City Jail, inmates live in this crowded environment that's surrounded by stone walls and barbed wire. At the site of the Tima Dental Team, Angelito, an inmate who received dentures in 2009, thanked the volunteers from the bottom of his heart.
It's difficult to live without teeth. Very few people are willing to help inmates because they see us as bad guys. But Tzu Chi volunteers are so kind and reach out to us so selflessly.
Inmate Ricardo feels incredibly moved that after living without teeth for over 10 years, it is while serving time at the prison that he finally gets his dentures.
When I began serving time here in 2010, I heard that Tima Dental Team visits to give inmates dentures. Now with Christmas just around the corner, I feel that my new set of teeth is the best present I've ever received. I'm so happy and thankful for Tzu Chi.
Without teeth, it's impossible to articulate clearly, smile, or even chew food. This affects the confidence and self-esteem of inmates. Receiving such care from the dental team, inmate Gemma can't help but choke back tears.
I am so grateful to get dentures. As an inmate, I feel very blessed to receive such help and care.
Inmates have lost their freedom because of their mistakes, but they shouldn't have to also give up their health. One day, these inmates will rejoin society, and Tzu Chi volunteers believe that helping them find and regain their smile is an important first step. Moving to Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at the home of care recipient Mr. Shang, as his mother had stored too much recyclables at home. In just a day, the volunteers cleaned up 3 trucks full of garbage and 4 trucks full of recyclables.
This grandma lives alone in an apartment of approximately 165 square meters, but her house is filled with recyclables that she has collected. Her son, who lives upstairs, doesn't know what to do.
I don't have time to take care of her. She gets mad whenever I ask her to take out the unused items.
生气。
The senior son has to take care of his father, who suffers from Alzheimer's, so he can't help his mother clean up. Luckily, he sought help from Tzu Chi. On this day, more than 100 volunteers arrived to clean up the house. Concerned about the senior's feeling, they thoughtfully ask her permission before discarding anything.
Please wait. The grandma wants to keep this basket. Don't throw away things grandma wants to keep.
Knowing that it is hard to gain the trust of the senior, the volunteers reassure her that they will only clean up unnecessary items.
They don't need this one. Tzu Chi brothers, can you move this fridge?
In just a day, the volunteers take out 3 refrigerators, large items of furniture, 3 trucks full of garbage, and 4 trucks full of recyclables.
We help her clean out the garbage. We saw mice, alive and dead. The grandma cherishes everything, but doesn't have time to sell the things she collected.
Other than cleaning up the senior's home, a volunteer gives her a haircut and invites her to the community study group, hoping to bring love to the senior's heart.
We are here because your son asked us to come and help you. Next time when you collect recyclables, make sure to sell them right away.
Knowing that the grandma cherishes everything, the volunteers kindly remind her to sell her recyclables right away so her house won't be messy again.
As 2012 is coming to an end, Tzu Chi volunteers around Taiwan are holding year-end blessing ceremonies. Recently, Master Zheng Yan arrived at Tzu Chi Yunlin Liaison Office in Dalian Tzu Chi General Hospital, where the Master expressed her gratitude towards the volunteers and medical staff.
On stage, medical staff are putting on a sign language performance and expressing the concept that there is only a thin line between good affinity and bad karma. Knowing that many medical staff cannot attend the year-end blessing ceremonies, Master Zheng Yan decided to visit the Dalian Tzu Chi General Hospital to host such a ceremony and give her blessings to the hardworking staff.
今年呢，护士方呢，拜托菩萨们呐，你是我的观世音呐，希望呢，让我们的医疗呢有你啊，让我们的这个全院呢都可以很稳定，为我们的病患呐来付出。
Upon hearing the dedication and hard work the medical staff have put into caring for patients, Master Zheng Yan says she is very touched.
感恩呢，这么多的大医王愿意啦，敢承担在这个地方，这都是呢真正的使命感，真的医护应该呢就是要到那样无人要去的所在，咱来去。
This year, a total of 14 medical staff became certified Tzu Chi volunteers, and they hope to combine their occupations with their vocations and continue walking the Bodhisattva path. Meanwhile, Master Zheng Yan arrives at the Tzu Chi Yunlin Liaison Office to perform another year-end blessing ceremony. On stage, Tzu Chi volunteer Li Mei-yu shares her story.
If I arrive home later than 11 p.m., my husband gets mad. Many Tzu Chi brothers and sisters have asked me to encourage my husband to join Tzu Chi. I tell them it's impossible.
After attending a recycling volunteer training seminar, Li's husband, Zhou Rongnan, decided to become a volunteer as he was touched by the volunteers' giving hearts.
I told my wife that we need to attend Tzu Chi's volunteers training seminar and encourage our friends and relatives to practice recycling too.
Since then, Zhou's attitude towards Tzu Chi has completely changed.
Now, wherever there's an event, we will go together and don't have to stay at home and worry about work anymore. Thank you, Master.
Now walking hand in hand on the Bodhisattva path, the couple says they have rediscovered happiness. In the meantime, Master Zheng Yan also takes the opportunity to thank all Tzu Chi volunteers around the world.
In China, Tzu Sichuan, Tzu Chi volunteers distributed scholarships to underprivileged students at Mingshan Middle School in Ya'an City. Meanwhile, a scholarship awards ceremony also took place in Fujian Province.
The students joined Tzu Chi volunteers in a sign language performance as the scholarship award ceremony begins here at Nanjing Middle School. Tzu Chi volunteers hand out scholarships to underprivileged students so that they too may have an opportunity to pursue their dreams. As the scholarship recipients come on stage, some break down in tears.
I am very thankful to Tzu Chi for giving me an opportunity, the opportunity to pursue my own future. Thank you.
The students know not to disappoint the people whose love went into the scholarship.
Every one of us has our own dreams. No matter how difficult the road ahead may seem, as long as we have love, we can walk far.
Mingshan Middle School was among the schools which Tzu Chi helped to rebuild after the Sichuan earthquake. Through sign language, Tzu Chi volunteers convey their love for the students. Hoping to spread this love, the teachers invited 10 students who were not scholarship recipients to attend so that they too may spread this love to others.
I think the Tzu Chi aunties care for us a lot, and they are kind, just like our own family. I hope that when I am at university, I can follow in their footsteps, also helping those who are in need.
Volunteers not only bring material goods to help us, but also bring emotional support.
This scholarship aid is filled with the love and care of Tzu Chi volunteers. The volunteers also hand out blankets, and it is this kind gesture that will warm the hearts of many this winter.
Continuing in China, Tzu Chi volunteers show support to students in Quanzhou, Fujian Province, where volunteers handed out more scholarships to 23 students.
Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at Huinan Middle School to hand out scholarship supports to needy students. Sharing on stage is Li Xingbing, whose mother has passed away.
Not once since I was little have I ever called my mother Mom, and that is my greatest regret. I feel that all the people here who have helped me are like my mother, and the love they have shown me is tremendous.
Students who have gone on home visitations with the volunteers share their joy of selfless giving.
A senior resident was on his electric scooter and was riding up the hill when he accidentally fell off. I unconsciously walked up to him and helped him. At that time, my heart was filled with joy.
Hand in hand, the students want to pass on the love to those in greater need. Apart from giving tuition support to underprivileged students, volunteers also carry out home visitations out of concern for their living conditions.
I can only study hard now, and I hope that I will be able to find a good job in the future. When I am capable, I hope to become a part of the Tzu Chi family.
Students learn that they too have the ability to do good deeds.
The volunteers taught us the right attitude to life and that we can be humble without looking down on ourselves. I think there is a lot we can do. I do not have significant influence on others, but I can start by changing little things in my life.
Knowing that the scholarship is the love of many far and wide, students follow the volunteers in a sign language performance to show their gratitude.
Moving to Malaysia, the problems presented by misguided students often trouble teaching staff. Fortunately, a caring dormitory warden sought Tzu Chi's help. The volunteers realized that the students were not really bad in nature. They just need a little encouragement and care.
Watching people searching for food in a landfill, 82 boarding school students from Port Dickson Zhonghua Middle School realize how fortunate they are and regret their rebellious behavior.
Stealing is a serious problem. Sometimes the students will secretly interrogate their suspected classmates in the washroom.
To direct these students onto the right track, Tzu Chi volunteers agreed to help the warden and start holding tea gatherings in the dorm in order to listen to them.
The students told me that they like to have someone to talk to, someone to listen to their thoughts. Their teacher told me these kids are bad, but from what I can see, they just need more care.
People always look down upon boarding school students, but Tzu Chi aunts and uncles always encourage us to behave well and make them proud.
6 months later, these students are determined to change their bad habits and practice recycling with the volunteers.
We must remember to start changing from today.
Following the visitation to the Tzu Chi Malacca chapter, they are firmly committed to following the Tzu Chi path.
We must know how blessed we are. There are more people who are less fortunate in the world.
We're more fortunate than other people.
Thanks to Tzu Chi's love and care, these teens can move on to a brighter future.
In Indonesia, Iwan Sukamto grew up in a difficult environment. With the help of Tzu Chi volunteers, Iwan Sukamto is able to continue his studies, and he vows to reciprocate this kindness in the future.
Apart from the recyclables his father brings home, Iwan's home is empty. When performing household chores, he puts his book right next to the stove so that he can study at any time. Although life is difficult, Iwan excels in his studies.
I'm not ashamed of myself. If I were ashamed, then I would have abandoned myself to fate, and that would hinder me from moving forward.
Iwan's mother suffered from depression after her own mother passed away. Iwan does not let this influence his studies and is a role model at school.
He never breaks the rules and is never late for school.
Being a filial child and studying hard is Iwan's way of repaying his parents. He is faced with the possibility of having to discontinue his studies because the family is unable to pay for his school fees.
I hope he will become a successful person and change our situations and make us proud.
I want to let my parents have a good life, to repay them for raising me. I won't make them angry and I will be obedient to them.
Understanding Iwan's situation, the Tzu Chi volunteers decided to provide him with a scholarship aid and took him to buy new stationery.
Iwan is a smart boy. Although they live in poverty, he is still able to conquer difficulties.
I hope I will become successful in the future so I may reciprocate the help I've received and benefit more needy people.
Iwan has never once thought of giving up. He believes that as long as he tries hard, the days ahead of him will only get better.
At the end of the show, as China Tzu Chi volunteers in Anhui province are preparing for more winter aid distributions, volunteers are working together with a local bedding business to provide 48,000 blankets to those in need. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching and have a good weekend.